For 7 long years, there was one name that never spoke, never denied, never confirmed, never defended himself. While headlines screamed, marriages cracked, narratives were rewritten, and royal reputations burned, Markus Anderson stayed silent. Too silent. The kind of silence that doesn't come from innocence, but from someone who knows every move on the board and waits patiently for the moment when silence becomes leverage. Markus was always there, at the Invictus Games in Toronto, at the secret New York baby shower, in the background of every major Sussex milestone like a shadow that never quite disappeared. He wasn't just a friend, he wasn't just an executive at Soho House, he was the vault, the fixer, the keeper of things that could never be said out loud. And now that vault has cracked open. According to sources circling London's legal corridors, Markus Anderson has quietly done something that sent shockwaves through Montecito and Buckingham adjacent circles alike. He hired his own legal counsel, not friendly counsel, not cooperative counsel, defensive, high-level nuclear counsel. And when someone like Markus does that, it only means one thing. He's not preparing to protect others anymore. He's preparing to protect himself. Why now? Because insiders claim Meghan Markle made the one mistake you never make with the man who knows where everybody is buried. She tried to blame him. As pressure mounted from surrogacy whispers, visa questions, and legal scrutiny, the Sussex legal machine allegedly attempted to shift responsibility. Markus, they implied, was the rogue operator, the man who handled logistics without full consent, the fall guy, the expendable piece to keep the crown jewel clean. They thought they could cut him loose. They were wrong. What followed, according to leaked deposition summaries, was nothing short of an annihilation of the carefully curated fairy tale. Markus reportedly looked across the table and delivered a line that shattered years of PR mythology in one breath. We were never just friends, not brother-sister, not platonic, partners. And then came the line that changed everything. Harry wasn't a victim. He was a silent shareholder. That sentence alone detonated the entire narrative the world had been sold. According to Markus, the More Than Friends label was never about romance. It was about ownership, about construction, about control. The Meghan Markle the public knows, the humanitarian, the foodie, the polished activist, wasn't discovered. She was engineered. Markus claims he didn't just introduce Meghan to rooms, he curated her entire identity to fit a very specific market. And that market wasn't Hollywood. It was the British aristocracy. To understand how deep this goes, you have to rewind to Toronto 2011. Not the struggling actress myth we were sold, but something colder, something transactional. Markus describes meeting a woman who was ambitious, restless, and desperate to break into a world she could see but couldn't enter. He didn't offer her a membership card, he offered her a rebrand, access, private rooms, introductions to elites, a comped lifestyle that dwarfed her income. In exchange, she became the living embodiment of Soho House's promise. Come here and you can become royalty. And their lives? According to Markus, they weren't just close. They were fused, shared finances, shared spaces, shared strategy. He wasn't her best friend, he was her shadow. He approved the clothes, the blog posts, the lighting, the humanitarian optics. Every move passed through him, even the royal pipeline. For years, the public believed Harry introduced Meghan to Eugenie. Markus says that timeline is fiction. He claims he knew Eugenie first, that he facilitated those introductions long before Harry entered the picture. The goal wasn't romance, it was placement. Embed first, acquire later. So when the blind date finally happened, Markus claims Harry wasn't meeting a stranger. He was meeting a product already calibrated to his wounds, his grief, his hatred of the press, his obsession with his mother. Meghan didn't just mirror Harry, she was programmed to. And Harry knew. Markus claims Harry thanked him for protecting her, never realizing that protection had already crossed into control. If Toronto was rehearsal, Botswana was opening night. The stargazing love story sold to the world? Markus calls it logistics, emails, itineraries, emotional engineering, satellite phone coaching during the trip. The narrative was simple, make him feel like her savior. The Diana playbook executed line by line. And after Botswana, there was a dinner, private, strategic. Harry, Meghan, Markus. Roles were discussed. The buffer, the connector, the keeper of secrets. And Harry didn't object. She needs you. I need you to keep her safe. That was the agreement. Markus claims he has audio, not scandals, not affairs. Conversations. Harry venting about his family, about William, about burning the institution down months before any public crisis narrative existed. According to Markus, Megxit wasn't reactive. It was premeditated, planned in 2017. Harry wasn't fleeing racism or pressure. He wanted out, and Meghan was the vehicle. The wedding, not a fairy tale, a corporate merger. The celebrity-packed guest list wasn't confusion. It was strategy. Oprah, Clooney, Serena, not friends, assets. Harry allegedly vetted the list himself, asking one question only: were they powerful enough to protect them? At Frogmore, Markus says he didn't visit, he operated. Emails drafted, narratives shaped, staff isolated, Harry paranoid, trust evaporated. England had to feel unsafe. Fear had to be amplified. We didn't calm him down. We wound him up. Even the Sussex Royal website, according to Markus, drafted 6 months early, Harry editing alongside him. The crisis wasn't the cause, it was the cover. Canada wasn't a retreat, it was an extraction. Safe house, perimeter, satellite links, not hiding from press, hiding from palace intelligence. The hiking photos, staged, leaked intentionally, panic-induced. The final push to California. Tyler Perry's house, not charity. Transaction. Favors called in, debts accrued, careers brokered. Netflix, Spotify. Speaking deals, all pipelines Markus claims he built years earlier. Then Meghan believed her own myth. She froze him out. And then she tried to erase him. Lawyers, separation agreements, digital handovers, hush money wrapped as consultancy fees. Markus refused, and the ghosting began. But Markus had a black box, draft letters, tiara texts, contradictions. And then the final betrayal, Harry's silence. Not hostage. Collaborator. And then there's the tape, the jet recording, Harry laughing, mocking, plotting. Once we get the money, we burn it down. I just want the brand. If that tape surfaces, the sincerity shield shatters forever. Now, Markus wants liquidation, not apology, credit, ownership. He claims the Sussex brand is a joint venture and Discovery would destroy them. The creator has stepped into the light and the invoice has arrived. And here's the part nobody in Montecito wants spoken out loud, because once this door opens, it doesn't quietly close again. Markus Anderson isn't just holding receipts, he's holding timing. And timing is everything. According to people watching this from the inside, Markus waited deliberately. He didn't move when the Netflix series dropped. He didn't speak when the book came out. He didn't flinch when the media still painted Harry as fragile and Meghan as misunderstood. He waited until the moment when their credibility was already thinning, when sympathy had started to rot into suspicion. Only then did he step forward. Because Markus understands something Meghan forgot, narratives don't collapse all at once. They crack slowly, then they shatter when pressure is applied at the weakest joint. And that weakest joint is Prince Harry himself. Sources say Markus's legal strategy isn't actually aimed at Meghan first. It's aimed at exposing Harry's consent. Because once Harry is no longer framed as the manipulated, traumatized prince, the entire structure falls. No victim, no escape story, no moral shield. Markus is reportedly prepared to demonstrate that Harry didn't lose control, he delegated it. That Harry wasn't isolated, he chose isolation. That Harry didn't stumble into exile, he planned it, funded it, and branded it. This is where the narrative turns truly uncomfortable. Because Markus allegedly claims Harry knew exactly when staff would resign before they resigned. He knew which headlines would land before they landed. He knew which charities would survive and which would quietly collapse. Not because he was psychic, but because he was in the room when the strategy was written. And this is where Markus's silence becomes terrifying. For years, palace insiders wondered how Harry seemed always one step ahead, how press responses felt rehearsed, how statements appeared instantly, how outrage landed with perfect emotional timing. Markus now claims that wasn't instinct, it was rehearsal. Harry, according to these accounts, learned how to perform distress, where to pause, when to sigh. How to look exhausted without appearing unstable, how to weaponize vulnerability without ever surrendering control. And Markus insists Meghan wasn't teaching Harry to survive, she was teaching him how to sell suffering. And Harry agreed to it. The real reason this story is sending shockwaves through London legal circles isn't just the accusations, it's the documentation. Markus isn't speaking in hypotheticals. He's reportedly submitting timelines, drafts, audio, metadata, device logs, the boring stuff that destroys beautiful lives. And this is why settlement talks are allegedly happening behind closed doors. Because if this ever reaches open discovery, it doesn't just expose a marriage, it exposes an industry. Media partners, PR agencies, charitable fronts, foundations, all tied together by one question no one once asked under oath: who knew what and when? Markus's claim that the Sussex brand was a joint venture is more dangerous than any personal scandal, because it reframes everything. If Meghan wasn't acting alone and Harry wasn't unaware, unaware, then every contract, every speech, every humanitarian moment becomes commercialized. The crown jewel isn't the titles, it's the illusion of authenticity. And once that illusion breaks, it can't be repaired. What's most striking to insiders is Markus's calm. No interviews, no leaks with his name attached, no social media tantrums, just filings, meetings, silence. The kind of silence that terrifies people who built their power on noise. Meanwhile, Harry is reportedly unraveling. Friends say he's angry, not at Markus, but at himself. Because somewhere deep down, he knows Markus isn't lying. He knows he nodded along. He knows he signed off. He knows he laughed on that jet, and worst of all, he knows the world may finally hear it. This isn't a betrayal story anymore, it's a reckoning. Markus Anderson isn't trying to destroy them out of spite. He's doing it out of correction. He wants authorship restored. He wants credit acknowledged. He wants the myth stripped down to its scaffolding so the public can finally see how it was built. And once the builder speaks, the illusion collapses. Meghan's greatest strength was always control of narrative. Harry's was emotional camouflage. Markus understood both because he helped design them. Now he's taken his hands off the wheel. And the silence that follows isn't peace. It's the sound of a story running out of places to hide. Running out of places to hide. Running out of places to hide.